I'm here to do a good old-fashioned book talk on The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Um, this is probably the best book I've read in a long time. I loved it. It's 400 and some pages long. I think I finished it in, it was less than a week, so like 3 or 4 days, which, some people can do that in no time, but for me, 3 or 4 days for a 400-page book is a pretty big deal. So let me tell you about it. So it's about Addie LaRue, who lives in France, in the country, in the 1700s. And okay, so imagine what it's like for a woman back then. She is about to get married off, and to some old gross guy, which happened to women a lot. She doesn't want that for herself. She wants her own life. She wants to be oh, hello, Olive. She wants to be responsible for herself. And so she, jumps off the carriage and runs off. Well, like I said, this is 1700s rural places, and they've got these old-fashioned, like superstitions almost. So anyways, there's a lady in the town who'd always told Addie that, you can pray to the gods in the daylight, but don't pray to the gods at night, or don't pray to the gods at dark. So it's daylight when she runs into the woods and starts praying, but she doesn't notice that the sun goes down. And so while she's still praying, one of the gods of night, or gods of the dark, answers her prayer. And so anyway, he grants her wish to be her own woman. Problem is, with these kinds of things, it's more of a curse. So the deal is she gets to live forever, but she can't make her mark on the world. No one will remember her. She can't even write her name. She can't do anything. Like literally, she's, she goes to see her friend before she's still trying to figure out what's happening. She visits her friend. She has to introduce herself to her best friend. Her best friend, sees this nice lady, hands her child, says, okay, hang on, I'll be right back. Goes into the next room, comes back, freaks out, saying, oh my God, please put my baby down. She has no idea that she just handed her child to this woman. So it's stuff like that. Like she literally gets forgotten immediately. So the other sort of caveat to the deal is that every year on this anniversary, the Luke, as he ends up being called, the god of the dark, he who's kind of like the devil. I think that's where Luke comes from. It's kind of short for Lucifer, even though he's not Satan. He's just a bad guy. But anyway, he comes every year to say, "You're ready yet?" Because when she's tired of all of this, he gets her soul. And so, anyways, she's never ready for that. But the weird thing is, and I love that they added this because it's really interesting, even though she hates him because he's cursed her, she gets used to seeing him every year. And there's one year, I don't remember how many years later it is. I want to say it's like 4. Anyways, she's been doing this for a while. And, she's like expecting him any minute now. So she's kind of getting ready. She sets up dinner. He never shows. And so it's part of the torture. Because for her, he's literally the only person she can talk to. He's the only person that knows her name. He's the only person who remembers her. So even though she hates him, she was kind of looking forward to him showing up because she could have a conversation with somebody who knew who she was or is. Anyway, I'm almost done. So cut to 300 years later, 2014. She's in New York City. And she goes into a bookstore, essentially steals shoplifts a copy of the Odyssey. And the guy working at the store, ends up just letting her take it. But the next day she comes back in and tries to return it and says, oh, my friend, bought me this book, but I've already read it. And he says, stop lying. You got that book yesterday. And she is super excited because this means somebody remembers her. Dun, dun, dun. His name is Henry. He becomes very important. But that's where I'm going to stop. The ending is worth it. All I'll say about the ending is that it's not cookie cutter. But it was good. I enjoyed it. if you like a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of love story, a little bit of, I don't know, adventure, then I definitely recommend this book. Best book I've read in a while. Yes, good. And look at that cover. How cool is that? I love it. Anyways, I'm done. Go read this book.